Yes, let's get wild. For today's episode, as the title suggests, I spent $1,000 on scratch-off lottery tickets. Did I win? Listen, this is wild philosophy. I know some of you guys tell me you love listening to me talk. You love listening to my stories. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a introduction on why I'm doing this. I haven't got them yet, but I'm going to explain to you my logic behind this, all right? Number one, I don't have a gambling problem, so you don't got to worry about that. I don't. Let's talk about my gambling history. In my entire life, no joke, I've probably gambled 3 or 4 times. The first time I gambled, I was in like 7th grade, and we used to play poker for chewing tobacco. Yeah, by the way, for those of you who know me, I'm sure you're not surprised. Fucking little baby Wild Phil gambling for chewing tobacco. So yeah, we did. We used to play poker. We had everybody had that one kid in their grade where their parents didn't give a fuck about anything. It was so disgusting. That's the gambling experience I remember the most, because all we did was play poker, win chewing tobacco, then use that chewing tobacco to play the next game. And I'm not joking. This guy had when you have like basement windows, he had I think 8 of them surrounding, and he ran. We chewed so much tobacco, and we wanted to show off because we're like these little fucking Peter Pan's Lost Boys, where these kids, oh yeah, we're doing tobacco, we're cool. We had an entire circle around us of water bottles filled with spit, tobacco spit. It was disgusting. I wish I would have saved if somebody pissed me off, just throw that shit out my window when I'm having road rage. Smashes them in the face and they get pink eye. Anyways, so that was my first gambling experience. Then I think I went to a casino in Rosemont, Rivers Casino, only because it just opened and they gave some deal where they're if you open an account with us, you get 2,000 free credits or some shit. I don't remember. It wasn't a overly fun experience. I'm not saying I lost. It was just blah, because I don't remember it at all. Then there was a third time that I don't remember. And then the fourth time, the most recent one, was I went to Amsterdam for a bachelor party / vacation. And we were in the Netherlands, Amsterdam. So, number one, most of the machines we couldn't read because they weren't in English. Number two, there was a lot of slots. And it doesn't matter where you're at. You could be at your local fucking bumfuck hillbilly town in America. Slots are kind of hard to even know, how did I win? Because you have to be a regular gambling degenerate. Let's be honest. They're just, so it didn't even matter, if you spoke the language or not. So I said, you know what? I'm going to play roulette. That's all I'm going to, how hard is it? Red, black, odd or even, or specific numbers. Roulette's the easiest fucking game to learn. So I'm a responsible person. So I came in with $40, and it always happens to me. I leave with what I came in with. I came in with $40, won up to $400, lost all the way down to $5, and then once I hit 40, I'm like, we're out of here. Fuck this. That always happens to me. So today I'm gonna spend $1,000 on scratch off lottery tickets and see what happens. Now, why am I doing this? I mentioned before that, I didn't mention. A lot of people are like, why would you spend $1,000 on that? Well, I saved up a shit ton of money from welding for 15 years. So much that I could kind of retire. All I do is I Uber once in a while and I do comedy full time. That's how much money I saved up from welding. I was in the union as well. So this is one of the things that I always wanted to do. I saw the videos and I'm like, these bastards, they got so much money. Usually the videos I see, they spend $15,000. Maybe if this video gets enough views, maybe I can do that. But I'm going to spend $1,000 and we'll see what happens. Now, why am I doing this? Let me tell you a quick, interesting story. I used to work at this welding place, and listen, this is all this race shit that I'm about to mention. It is relevant to the story. I used to work at this job at this factory. It was 80% Polish and then 20% these Puerto Rican guys that kind of stuck to themselves. It's Chicago. We segregate, all right? So they stuck to themselves, and there was one guy who was the fattest, laziest worker there, and they always would make fun of him because he was also Puerto Rican. They'd be like, you're giving us a bad name. You match all the stereotypes. And they all shed on because he was very lazy. He got caught falling asleep. He got caught he fell asleep one time on a forklift that was moving like 2 inches an hour. It was ridiculous. We got pictures. He was so lazy that we actually wanted to start taking pictures of him where he would fall asleep so that we can make a factory calendar. Like January, he's like underneath a table hiding with a sub sandwich in his mouth. February, he's while he's taking his shit, going out like Elvis on the toilet. So, anyways, this guy was so lazy, so fat. He used to operate the stand-up forklift, and we actually one time were almost about to use like mechanical grease on his love handles so that he could fit into this forklift because he couldn't near the end. And then he quit. And he stole a bunch of parts from the company. Big surprise. And this fucking idiot, let me tell you what this guy did. The luck of these people, okay? If you only knew how to use your fucking money, okay? He used to buy a scratch-off ticket. What he told me was every time he filled up, he bought a scratch-off ticket. Which to me is like if you're driving to a job that most factory jobs, I'm assuming most people live 5 to 10 miles from the job, like I did. So with that amount of gas you're spending, you probably fill up once a week. So let's say, and we got paid every 2 weeks. So he probably filled up once a week, which means he bought a scratch-off ticket once a week. So there's is it 36 weeks in a year? So he bought 36 scratch-off tickets in a year at the very least. This asshole, no joke, in a period of 5 years, he won 30 grand 3 separate times. And this is the kind of people that win the scratch-offs, okay? This idiot, every single time he won, he bought a new Harley Davidson. Why? Like a brand new one. And then he totaled it. And then it's like falling apart and rusting in his fucking garage because Harleys suck. Harleys suck. They suck. And you know what? For those of you who hate on me because I don't like Harley, look up Google. All right, we're in fucking 2023. Google what is the most efficient motorcycle. Harley's at the bottom. All right, they're not good. They violently vibrate, fucking up the parts in it, loosening up screws. They're not gas efficient. They suck. They don't like to what a Yamaha or a Kawasaki or a Honda lasts, whatever, 30, 40 years. A Harley lasts like 10 years. That's why you don't spend your 30 grand that you won on a Harley. Enough of ranting about Harley, but that's what he did. He won 30 grand, bought a brand new Harley, totaled it. Won 30 grand, bought a brand new Harley, totaled it. And a third time. He did it like every fucking time. That's what he did. And I'm like, dude, you're working at this shithole factory. You could have had 90 grand total. Maybe after taxes, it would have been like 60 grand, but you could have paid off your house like I did. What is wrong with you, man? He had to rely on stealing parts at the end. So that's what made me think if nobody could do it. If somebody like me won it, I know where to put that money. Up your ass. No, I know where to put it. Up the bank's ass and invest it. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's my logic behind this. Number one, what's the best odds for a scratch-off ticket? Well, I researched a little bit of information like a fucking nerd, and it's called the 200 times multiplier, which is the odds they say are 1 in 2.78. So almost like 1 in 3 is a winner. We'll see what happens. They're about $30 each. Just for I was like contemplating whether I wanted to do this video for the longest time. So a month ago, I did it one day just for the hell of it, to see what happens, and I came out negative. I spent the $30 each, so I spent $90, and I won 40. So I lost half my money. Now we're gonna do 1,000. We'll see what happens. All right, what's up, everyone? This is Wild Phil. I am about to go get $1,000 worth of lottery tickets, 200 times multiplier. Now, I forgot to mention this about what do you do? What's the logic? Do you get it anywhere? Well, some people say, oh, you get it from different places. I disagree with that. When you think about who the fuck buys lottery tickets? Poor people, people who are impulsive, people who just buy tickets all the time. So where do you go? Where do you go in Chicago? Do you go to the Hood? Fuck no. I'm not gonna. I mean, can you imagine, like, if I did win a huge prize and I'm in the Hood? That's not happening. So where do I go to? I go to Next. Where else are poor people that buy lottery tickets a lot? The closest trailer park, which is Elk Grove. That's where I go. So I'm gonna get a bunch of tickets there. Probably gonna turn them in around my neighborhood, so I don't get, I don't know, shot off by a redneck or somebody else who. All right. So we came back. We bought. So I had $1,000 to buy tickets, and I mentioned before, you got to go to a shithole neighborhood where the lottery tickets are constantly circulated, right? I don't want to go to the Hood, so what did I do? I looked up the nearest and hugest trailer park in my house. I went to... The other thing that I didn't realize that I talked about before was I was like, all right, let's go to the nearest gas station to the trailer park. But what I thought about while on there, I'm like, you know what? Let's go to the cheapest gas station as well, which ended up being Thornton's. And I went there, and the funny thing was I was like, all right, so I got to get the most circulated gas station, right? With $1,000, creepily, I didn't even realize that I basically, these are $30 each cash. I divided $1,000 by 30, and it came out to exactly 33.33333. Which is a lucky number. We'll see what fucking happens because I'm feeling good about this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to scratch out all these. See, here's the thing. These are just for fun. Like, you don't have to scratch these out. You scratch them. See, this is how they show up at first, like that. Okay? And then when you scratch them off, right here at the bottom, there's a little barcode, QR code looking thing. All you got to do is scan that. You don't even have to play this thing, none of that shit, okay? This gives you that, like, there is no odds. It tells you right away. So all you do is I just got to scratch all these, and we're going to scan them in. Going to see how much I won, all right? Funny thing that I was mentioning, though, was so I went to this redneck-ass gas station, and I said, oh, they get the most circulated. He goes, oh, how much are you looking to buy? We're on number 6 card right now. I go, how much you got? Because I need to get 33. He goes, we only got 24. So I bought 24 from a redneck gas station, and then I went to a little liquor store and just bought the rest there. So it was like $300 worth, so like 9 cards. So basically, I got 33 cards here with $10 left over. Let's see what I win. Now it's time to scratch them all off. And then at the end, the fun thing about this is, before I start scratching, is there's an app for the Illinois Lottery that you can just scan these at home. So I don't have to be sitting at some shady-ass gas station. Oh, look, I won 20 grand. Somebody puts a gun to my head. So I'm going to scratch them all off, and then we're going to scan them later on, see if there's any significant wins. Remember, I started with $990. All right, my fellow philosophers, what's up? So I ended up spending $990 on lottery tickets, and I ended up winning $930. So I lost $60. What do I do now? I told myself I can lose $1,000 because that's expendable. That's what I saved up. It's what I'm spoiling myself with. So what am I going to do now? Well, the $930 I won back, I'm going to spend it on more 200 times multipliers, because the scratch offs are constantly circulating. So why would I leave with anything less than $990? I feel like I could win more. We'll see what happens with the next batch. All right, keep watching. Stay tuned.
What up, my fellow philosophers? So this is the last final round. Okay, I think it'll be the final round. What happened is, recap. First time I put in 990, won 930. Next I put in 930, won 690. This time, I went to the gas station and they didn't have enough of these cards. So I bought what I could, and I bought $600 worth, which is 20 cards. We shall see where this takes us. All right, let's get going. All right, everyone. So this is round 3, and I'm about to start scanning. I got 20 tickets here. Now, before I start scanning, I do want to say something important, and that is because I didn't really come up with this plan until during it. I'm doing it 3 times because number one, 3 is just a lucky number, I guess. But real reason I'm so fed up and sick, and actually sick. I'm so sick of going back to places for lottery tickets because gas stations will only give you what's in the drawer, which they're getting robbed now because of the recession, so they won't give you more than $200. The grocery store that I go to, that I used to work at in high school, say they won't give you more than $500, which is absolute bullshit because I used to work there. They have a safe with 10 grand. They make like 25 grand a day, so they're full of shit. But they're lazy. They're grocery store workers. So I'm sick of doing that shit. So I guess what was my intention of this? Well, my intention is if I buy $1,000 worth of lottery tickets, and spend it all 3 times, what will it get me? Because if the first time I won $1 more than 1,000, I would have stopped. Because that's all I was trying to do, is just win. Period. Win profit. So now I'm gonna scan all of them and we'll see what happens. It really doesn't matter whether I win or whether I lose everything. I'm keeping what's left because I'm sick of going to these places. Let's get started. Oh my god. $400. So that's what I did. After, what is that? 90 tickets later, basically, I went from $1,000 to 400. And that's where it ends. I lost $600 on absolutely nothing. You tell me what you think in the comments. Don't develop a gambling addiction. Thank you for getting wild. It's a pleasure starting other gambling addictions. I don't know what else to say. I'm sick as fuck.